A lot of businesses have been looking at artificial intelligence, but because it's so new and such a big game changer for businesses, think about the invention of the printing press or the motor car. This is another big change in society, and we know it's coming, so we need to get prepared for it. Today I just want to look at the risks and opportunities and what you need to do. I think the most important thing is acknowledge that with your team. There's so many opportunities to use AI to be more successful in the short and the long term. And we'll look at those in a minute, but let's just look at the risks first. Risks are losing your customers' data, your GDPR confidential data, and losing confidential business information to the artificial intelligence platform. So if you're using ChatGPT, there's a couple of options. Really simple, you can either use the Azure version, which doesn't track what you're doing, or you can turn off the log, which again doesn't track what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, you need to have a policy. Now, I've got a policy that I've created, initial attempt at this for small businesses. This is not a corporate waffly legalese policy, it's just to help people understand the risks and the opportunities. You need to pick somebody in your organisation to be in charge of managing the AI process, like all risks and opportunities. You want to make sure that you're not just saying, no, we're not using artificial intelligence because it's too dangerous for the business. That's stupid. What we do need to do though is make sure that we have a policy that makes it very clear. Do not upload clients' confidential information, phone numbers, etc., names and addresses to these systems, not without speaking to IT. Do not upload our IP to these systems, because once it's in their system, you're not going to be able to get it back out again. So people need to understand that risk. Okay, let's look at the opportunities. So at the moment, with ChatGPT, which is the main way that people are looking at AI right at this second, you can get it to write stuff. But what I found works really well, and I found this graph online I'll share with you. What was interesting is, for some people, when they use artificial intelligence, the quality of their work went down. For some people, it went up. I think what you have to do is think of it like a tool, obviously, but it's not going to do everything for you. If you say, write this letter, blah, 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 it's not going to do a very good job. But if you give it a draft of what you want, I'm a big fan. I dictate stuff into Otter AI. I ask ChatGPT to tidy it up into a document. That works really well. Or a table, or a form, or some computer code. It'll do all those things. But what doesn't work very well if you just ask it to arbitrarily create something. And that's when you end up with lots of information that's just wrong, plain wrong. You ask it questions, it gives you the wrong answer. It's really not helpful. But if you give it some information, ask it to put it in a different format, or tidy it up, or fix the spelling mistakes, in my case, really, really good. When we're seeing other types of AI come on board now, like the creative tools, we can see we can have AI that will create videos. We have AI that can create architecture, and maybe even down to the nuts and bolts. So all of that stuff that was technically really difficult and required lots of years of experience, a lot of that, the basics will be done by AI in the future. But that brings you to your opportunities, because you can create more marketing content. Say you're an architect, yeah, this is my favourite example. You've got this plot of land you want to build something on. You can press a button, come up with 1,000 different ideas, pick the best 5, and then go to the customer, which kind of these ideas do you like out of these? You're not limited by your imagination. All you're limited by is picking something from the opportunities. But like everything, like architecture is a great example. What we really want is a building that looks like it's always been there, that's practical and easy to use, and that requires skill, and AI is a long way from that yet, because AI can't create anything new. All you can do is bring together, shuffle the cards I've mentioned before. So coming back to this risk thing, your team should absolutely be looking at how AI is going to be used in the future, how you can use it now. Do you want to have a chatbot on your website? What's they going to look like? But also moderate that, because there's nothing more frustrating than a human trying to talk to a computer and not realizing they're talking to a computer, and the computer doing a terrible job of communicating. So you do need to bring it back. Get a team together, start looking at how you can use it effectively in your business. But don't stop people using it, but do try and get their feedback of what they're doing, how they're using it, what's going well, and make sure you're not sending really generic emails out that were clearly created by ChatGPT, because that's not going to help anyone. People don't want the cookie cutter picture most of the time. When it comes to using it to consolidate information, you must understand that some people's jobs will be automated very quickly. And when we're looking at technology that brings processes together, fills in that gap in the middle. If you're taking something from one system and putting it into another, that job's going to be, as I said before, eaten up by AI. So we need to think really hard about what we're going to do with those people in the future. How can we use their skills? How will their skills be augmented by technology? So there's a lot to think about really, but I do think you need to think really hard about what kind of policy you want. And please make sure it's in English. Make sure it's a policy that empowers people to make good decisions rather than just says no AI and also here's a list of 50 pages of legal gobbledygook, because there's no point. Don't do that. Obviously the version that I've got is very, very simplistic because it's designed for small businesses to read. I want everyone to be involved in it. And for our customers, you can use this policy. I've got a couple of other variants as well, but do think that you're empowering people, you're not disabling them. Okay, that's enough for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.